I'm Jackie Hesse, Executive Chef with Food and Nutrition Services at Rutland Regional Medical Center. We are pleased to bring you our program, Rutland Regional Medical Center Presents Window on Wellness. Our show will explore opportunities on how you can integrate healthy wellness into your daily lives. Local healthcare experts from Rutland Regional will be joining me to help me prepare delicious and nutritious meals, plus share valuable information and resources. Our guest on the show today is Jacki Becker, nurse practitioner and manager of Employee Wellness Center at Rutland Regional. We will be discussing how you can make healthy, low-fat items taste as delicious as the full-fat, full-calorie versions. We will be right back with our show after this message from Rutland Regional Medical Center.
I'm Tom Hubner, president of the Rutland Regional Medical Center. The Rutland Regional Medical Center is the largest community hospital in Vermont. We started back in 1896. We had 16 beds, 8 physicians, 1 nurse. This past year, we took care of nearly 250,000 patients, and we have 1,600 staff, 258 doctors. We are here to serve our community in every new way that is possible with this promise to you. We listen, we respect, we care, always.
So our first recipe today that we're going to be making is a creamed cauliflower.
Okay.
It's a great swap out for mashed potatoes. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Do you eat cauliflower at home?
I love cauliflower.
It's such a healthy, versatile vegetable. What's so great about it is that it really can be used in so many different ways. Have you seen kind of some of the recipes out there today that have a cauliflower pizza crust?
Yes, yeah.
You can do a curry. So many different options. So what we're going to do is just start to break down our cauliflower. We're going to start with 4 cups of cauliflower in a small saucepan with 2 cups of water. And then into that I'm going to be adding a cup of skim milk and a cup of 1% milk. So the cauliflower doesn't need to be chopped too small. We're going to let the heat do most of the work for us. Jackie, while I'm working on this, would you mind starting on our Brussels sprouts?
Okay.
The other dish we'll be working on to go with our crispy southern fried chicken that we'll be working on today, a much healthier version of the full-fat version, is a roasted Brussels sprout, which is going to have some delicious toasted pecans and oven-roasted red onions. So I'm going to just keep going here with our cauliflower. So I get about 4 cups. Doesn't need to be very exact, but you'll see once we get all of our liquid in here, you'll just want the cauliflower to just about be covered. So we'll do our 1 cup of skim milk. And you'll see Jackie is cutting our Brussels sprouts right in half and just taking off the root.
And you said these leaves are nice
The
to
leaves
use?
are so delicious. They will, you'll see a little bit later, once they go in the oven, the leaves will get really toasty and brown and almost kind of a little bit of a crunch to them. So we'll have kind of a bunch of different textures going on with this dish. So we have our cauliflower in our pot here. We're going to want this to be about a medium-high heat just to get the temperature up, and then once we do, we'll kick our heat back down just a little bit. I'm going to do about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here to start. And then I'm going to work on getting our red onions ready for our Brussels sprouts. So I'll save that for later.
Okay, your Brussels are ready.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm going to slice up the red onions. We need 2 red onions sliced. These are nice small red onions. Some of the red onions we've been getting at the hospital are huge.
The Brussels sprouts are beautiful too.
The Brussels sprouts are so nice. We just picked those up the other day as well. So what are some of the things that you're working on in the Wellness Center at the hospital right now in terms of some wellness initiatives?
You know, trying to tie everything together, the nutrition is a big thing, and with it being Nutrition Month, like, you know, speaking
Right.
about that.
March
yeah.
is Nutrition Month.
Yeah, and we have a variety of things going on. We have yoga classes and Zumba for employees. We're doing a mindfulness piece, and there's always exercise initiatives ongoing. But really trying to incorporate, just like you're talking about, making it easy and making it part of people's lifestyles.
Absolutely. That's what I like so much about these 3 recipes is they're very, very easy. If you're coming home from work and you need to get a meal together, these are going to come together really, really quickly and have a lot of versatility, as I was saying, with the cauliflower. So I'm going to just take a half sheet pan here and do a little bit of olive oil on these onions and get those into the oven so that they can start getting roasted.
Okay.
Once we get a little bit of color on the onions and they start to soften, we will get the Brussels sprouts in the pan as well. If you would like to do the pecans, we have a 1/4 cup of pecans that Jackie's going to toss in, as well as 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just going to do a little bit of salt and pepper here on the onions so we can get those roasted. And I have just a little bit of oil here as well. So we'll just toss the onions together in that. And these onions are going to be going into a 400-degree oven. So while those start roasting, we're going to work on our chicken. So the chicken that we're working on today, as I said, is a southern crispy chicken that has all the flavor, minus all of the calories that are associated with typical fried chicken. So the chicken that we're doing has a marinade that is comprised of a low-fat yogurt, paprika, cayenne, dried thyme, and salt and pepper. The marinade really works best if you put it together the night before and let it sit in the refrigerator. I have some chicken that I've already marinated, but I'm going to show you how to put the marinade together. It's very, very easy. It's 1 cup, as I said, of the low-fat plain yogurt. You don't want to do vanilla, that wouldn't taste so good. 1 cup of yogurt. It is a teaspoon of dried thyme, a teaspoon of cayenne, and a teaspoon of paprika. Now you can do less cayenne if you don't like the spice so much. You can do more of a 1/2 teaspoon and just mix it together. There's also, I put about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt as well. So we're just going to mix that together. The chicken we're going to use is a boneless, skinless chicken breast. I also have a couple boneless, skinless chicken thighs that we're going to use, but it's really whatever your preference is. So that's how you do your marinade. It's very, very easy. Just mix together. Coat your chicken, let it sit overnight in the refrigerator, and then when you're ready for it the next day, you're going to take a cup of breadcrumbs, just plain seasoned breadcrumbs. You can use Italian breadcrumbs if you'd like. Again, another 1/2 sheet pan. Just a little bit of pan spray to keep it from sticking. Make sure we get our cauliflower going there. And our chicken breast. The yogurt acts as a nice glue for the breadcrumbs, and comes together very easily. So you're just going to take your chicken breast. If you have too much excess marinade, you can just go ahead and wipe off the excess. You don't want to have too much left on the chicken. And coat the chicken in the breadcrumbs.
So you marinated the chicken overnight?
I did. It gives the yogurt a real opportunity to kind of sink into the chicken and lock in all that flavor. So you can see, and I got most of the excess off, so there's not that much left on the chicken. And you're just going to coat the chicken in the breadcrumbs. Tap off any extra. And if you have chicken breasts that are pretty large, you're going to want to cut them in half so that they're more, so they're thinner. The cooking time is going to, on these are going to be about 1/2 hour, 30 minutes to 35 minutes in a 400-degree oven. So if you have large chicken, go ahead and slice those right in half. So as I said, I do have some chicken thighs in here. I have 2 chicken thighs and 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I think that the boneless chicken, boneless thighs really have a lot of flavor. And some people really like the dark meat. So it's nice to have a variety. Okay, I'll finish getting these coated and into the oven. And you could really chop up some fresh herbs even and put chopped parsley or chopped oregano into the breading.
Yeah.
Really use some fresh herbs. We have our RMC herb garden in the summer, which I'm excited to get started on again coming up in a few months. Whenever the snow clears, we do lots of fresh herbs, parsley and basil, and they're great to use for this application. So I'll pop this in the oven at 400 degrees. Check on our onions while we're in here as well. They are starting to get a little color. And I can see they're starting to get soft. So Jackie, if you would toss your Brussels sprouts right here, and we'll get them nice and mixed. Perfect. So this again is the Brussels sprouts, the pecans. You have a little olive oil.
I notice this is thickening up a bit as you
It is.
go.
It's starting to heat up nicely. So what we'll do once the cauliflower gets soft is strain it off. And we reserve some of the liquid to make our puree. So Brussels sprouts will go back in the oven. And when they're fully roasted, it's going to be about 30 minutes as well. So you have both dishes that are going to take about 30 to 35 minutes. So everything will come together right at the exact same time. So the cauliflower, as I said, is going to start to be tender here pretty shortly. And we'll just take some tongs. Oh, right in front of me. And just test. It is starting to get pretty tender here. Let's say probably a few more minutes on that. Now the garlic, if you would chop up the garlic for me, we are gonna throw that into our Brussels sprouts mixture as well.
A couple of cloves.
Just a couple of cloves, yeah. And let me give you a knife. Do you cook with garlic very much home? Oh, you've got
I
one.
do, but
Perfect.
yeah, your knife is out of my league.
Brussels sprouts and garlic are 2 of my absolute most favorite things to cook with. And they go really kind of nicely actually in all of these dishes. Another thing you could do is actually put a couple cloves of the garlic into your cauliflower mixture and puree that up as well.
Like garlic mashed potato flavor. yeah.
Absolutely. That's kind of the direction we were going with these recipes, was to create a dish that seems indulgent, yet isn't. It is, but it
indulgent and
isn't.
yes, in flavor.
In
and
flavor,
yeah.
but not in those calories and all that extra fat.
Do you roast a lot of vegetables? That's such a nice.
I do. This time of the year, we have all the root vegetables, which are really in season. We have parsnips and rutabagas. Rutabagas are one of my favorites, actually.
Really?
So we do a lot of roasting this time of the year. Butternut squash is still really great, too. Perfect. And if you'd like to toss that in here. I love the colors in this dish, too. I think that's kind of one of the great things about healthy cooking is all the colors.
Right.
You have the reds and the green. Perfect. And you have a little extra protein with the pecans as well. All right. This is coming together nicely. I'm going to reserve about a cup of the liquid for our puree. We may only end up needing half of a cup, but just in case. Do you have a strainer over behind you? Thank you very much. We'll strain this off. Perfect. So to the cauliflower, we're going to add 2 tablespoons. Well, we're going to do 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of margarine.
That is something I've been playing with, the different olive oils, the different flavors. I'm thinking of different flavors that would be really tasty
You
there.
were telling me that.
Yeah.
You said you had been experimenting with the blood orange flavor.
Blood orange, there's a mushroom sage flavor that
Sounds
goes nicely.
delicious. So I'm going to start with just about half of this because we can always add to it. We can't take out. Do just a touch of salt, touch of black pepper. Now to puree this, we can do it a few different ways. We can do it in a traditional blender where you'd make like a smoothie. Or I have this very handy immersion blender, which will do the same thing but be a little less cleanup. So I'm always a big fan of that by the end of the day. So I'm going to blend this up. This can be messy too, don't get me wrong. And as you go, you'll want to just kind of see how much liquid you have. You may want to add to it. But right now, I think we've got just about the right amount. This tool works really great for soups as well, if you're making a pureed soup or a creamy tomato. This can really be tailored to your personal tastes. I like my cauliflower a little bit heartier, a little bit more chunky, I guess, if you will. But if you like it creamier,
Oh, wow.
you can absolutely puree it a little bit more. But I kind of like that texture. Yeah, absolutely. So
That might actually fool kids too. who are looking for
absolutely,
potatoes.
that's the goal. If we can get kids to eat more vegetables, then we're doing something right. So I will check on our chicken. Perfect. And our struts are looking good. Those probably need about another 15 to 20 minutes, I'd say, but we have some swap outs, so we can get our plate together. Let's see. So we have our Brussels sprouts here. You can see how much color they really got. These nice crispy brown leaves are really, really, really tasty.
Sounds crunchy.
Pecans. Yes, it adds that texture. We have our roasted red onions in here as well. Beautiful. Load up on the veggies. Get some of our pecans in there. And we'll get some of our cauliflower, creamy cauliflower. And we have our chicken. Let's do one of our chicken breasts here.
Nice.
Perfect. Nice and crispy. Perfect.
It looks just like fried chicken.
Excellent. It's so crispy. It's going to really satisfy that craving and be healthful at the same time. Let's see. And we have our tasting spoons. We can try that cauliflower. Try our sprouts. That came out good.
Sprouts are great.
Perfect. Really easy, really quick, really satisfying on an evening when you are running home from work. You can still put a real good quality meal on the table. Well, thank you so much for helping me out today. I appreciate
Can't
having
wait
you
to
as
try
my
this at
guest.
home.
Thank you for joining us. Please tune into our show every week on PEG TV, Channel 15, or view us on PEG TV On Demand. Thank you, and be well.
I'm Tom Hubner, President of the Rutland Regional Medical Center. The Rutland Regional Medical Center is the largest community hospital in Vermont. We started back in 1896. We had 16 beds, 8 physicians, 1 nurse. This past year, we took care of nearly 250,000 patients, and we have 1,600 staff, 258 doctors. We are here to serve our community in every new way that is possible with this promise to you. We listen, we respect, we care, always.